Hello everybody! Finally getting back into the swing of hobby stuff. I've kind of just been meh on my hobby stuff for a while, just because I've been working so much, trying to catch up on some bills. Well, I finally caught up on my bills, so I'm going to be able to get back into the hobby with a lot more enthusiasm and a lot more time than I've had in the last 4 months. So to celebrate, start off with this weekend, I want to give this a try. So I spent this weekend painting this. This is the Kromlech Orc Barracks. More light on here. And I'm extremely happy with how it came out. So what I did with this is the base color is a cheap craft paint, apple barrel paint called Pavement. And I really like it. I think it's a really nice gray. It's not quite as dark as a German gray, but pretty close. So pretty happy with that base color. I did learn though you need to airbrush it on, because trying to get into all those nooks and crannies with a brush is virtually impossible. So I got, it took me a while, because spraying the stuff through an airbrush takes a little bit of work, but it does work. And I did finally get everything grayed, especially in all these little things right here. It's just really, and inside this the tower ladder here, it was really annoying. But I got this painted gray, I got the mech shop and the other two little pieces. They're all base coated now. And then I was just kind of looking at the model they have on the Kromlech website, and it looks like they did some either airbrushing or some sort of color modulation along each individual panel. So that's what I did. So all I did was I just masked off on the top of each line and just dry brushed on some light gray on each individual panel. You can see the highlight of the gray here. That's all airbrushed, I mean dry brushed along the edges here. I did at the corners here. And then I did the same thing. I masked off and dry brushed the edges here when I did the colors. It really shows up on the blue more than it does on the red over here. But it does show up a little bit. Yeah, you can see how I highlighted along the edges here with the reds. Really only the two big orc faces are the only things I really did with the dry brushing highlight on the colors. They had this part here, kind of a brown color, so I replicated that because just to kind of break up the gray a little bit, because I got all this part done and then this was still entirely gray and just didn't look right, so I had to put some color panels on here, trying to break up this a little bit. I used lead belcher in the parts that are going to be axis, so like this handle's got some lead belcher on it, like it was chipped away. Same with the window grating here, and the top axis panel is all chipped up. Same with the ladder here, and the tops of the observation tower are all also chipped like that. So the rest of it is brush painted. I just used masking tape and dry brush to get all the highlights on it, and then the only other thing I did with the airbrush was the base color, which is this Mystery Desert, which is what I use on all my orc basing. So just give it like a dust effect on the bottom of the building. I did that with the airbrush. I could have done the highlights with the airbrush, but I just wanted a little less uniform highlight, a little more organic highlight that I got with the dry brushing. I'm very happy with the highlights on the gray, by the way. And the highlights were done with Dawnstone. Yeah, so very happy with how this came out. I'm really excited to get to the mech shop, which is a lot more complex than this was. This was basically just some highlight some edges and then fill out the individual panels with colors. My cat's making a noise in the background. And that was about it. Oh, and then I used a Vallejo acrylic varnish through the airbrush over it. It's supposed to be matte varnish. It's not entirely matte, but it's getting more and more matte as time goes on, as it cures. So yeah, that's done. So I did have one question though. I'm trying to decide if I want to base this one. And I already have this nice cut up piece of plywood I've had for a while, and it just fits perfectly on this base. So let me know in the comments below if you think I should just leave it a plain building, or if I should stick it to the base and then put some ground effects here, which again will be painted with this Mystery Desert color around it. I'm going to toss up. I think it works either way, but either way, I'm very happy with this. This is an awesome piece of terrain, and it looks great. And yeah, I'm very happy I bought the Kromlech stuff. Very happy. So what else is going on? Kind of getting ready to buy some stuff for Gloomspire Gets. Started with this guy. This is a Reaper's Bones troll, and I wanted him for the stone he's throwing, which of course is going to be painted as ice to go with my ice theme. But yeah, so I just glued him to a 50 millimeter base, which is what the troll kit comes on. So I'm going to be working on him slowly this week. Yeah, so this is my next project. Is the whoops. Good thing about the Reaper Bones is they don't break. I was working on that troll. Grab this troll here. So it gives you an idea of the scale of the building. That's a 50 millimeter base he's sitting on. So, and then hopefully I will get part 2 of the Voyager paint either this week or next week. I haven't exactly decided how I'm going to do the shading on that. If I'm going to use just Nuln Oil and a dry brush, or use watercolors and a modulation, or what I'm going to do with it. So for right now, it's up in the air, or more specifically, it's on some poster tack, waiting for me to decide what to do with it. So that's where we're at right now with the hobby. I said I got my tax refund on the way, so when I do, I got some things I want to do. I want to pick up the rest of the Gloomspire Gets stuff I want, mainly a Loon Boss, some more of the mages, probably the main named character guy. Maybe another troll, so I have a unit, can at least field a unit of 3, and probably another box of Fanatics, just so I can field a unit of Fanatics. That's going to be it for now. I think just some characters, some Fanatics, and another troll will do me for now until I can figure out what exactly I want to do with that army. But so yeah, this troll's going to get worked on. This will be my first AOS army slash fantasy. I mean, first AOS slash fantasy model with a round base, because I am not rebasing my Orcs and Goblins army. It's like I'm not rebasing my Orcs army, even though I might eventually just have to do that. But that is a monumental project in and of itself, to rebase all of my Orcs onto 32 millimeter. The amount of work that is, even with just using base adapters, with the hundreds and hundreds of Orcs models I have. And of course, being on 32 millimeter bases, they actually take up more space and storage, because I have like 1.25 inch wide or inch wide slots I put my Orcs in, because they fit perfectly at 25 millimeter base. But if I put them on 32 millimeters, I'm going to have to completely redo my entire storage solution on top of it. So, I mean, it just doesn't seem to be worth that much work at all. But I think the tournaments are going to be going in that direction, where I have to rebase sometime this year, and it's just not something I want to do. It almost makes me want to not play Orcs anymore if I have to rebase them to play in a tournament. That's how bad it is. Just, I mean, I got 200 boys between the 180 base, the extra heavy weapons, and the extra knobs. I've got 200 Orc boys, 45 Ludas, 32 commandos, the Burnas, some knobs. Doesn't even get into the bikes that are on the straight oval bases, the old bike bases instead of the new oval ones. It doesn't even get into the bikes. So yeah, I literally just hear the term rebasing, and I almost go fetal position in the corner crying just thinking about it. But for now, I'm going to paint this guy. I'm going to get working on the rest of the Kromlech stuff just to get it done, so I can put it into storage and go from there. And again, one more time, just in the comments below, let me know if you think this should be on the base, or if I should just leave it plain like that. Because you know what, I think it would work either way, and I'm pretty flexible. I don't care which way it goes. I think it would be fine either way. I wouldn't mind. It's not going to be a lot of work either, so it's not a big deal. So again, let me know in the comments below if you think you should put it on a base or not, and there will be a lot more hobby coming up in the next few months, until I have to rebase, at which point all the hobby progress will stop entirely. Thanks for watching.